I believe that there's no better way to connect people than through music, because it shows people that we all feel things that connect us and make us brothers and sisters.
It's the Chevy Music Showcase Season 3 Special, a full half hour of music and conversation featuring Leon Bridges, Fox and the Bird, Luke Wade, The Roomsounds, Un Chen, The Vince Lujan Project, Chambers, Reinventing Jude, Dovetail, Breaking Southwest, Jetta in the Ghost Tree, and Salim Narala. Brought to you commercial free by the North Texas Chevy dealers.
Well, my mother was very musical. I think she was the first person that I really looked up to. She could sing like Carole King, Diana Ross. I thought it was spectacular. I could drive in the car with my mom and she knew all the words. And then I realized I knew all the words. And then I realized that I wanted to put in different words and my words and then harmonize with that. That's kind of, I think, where I found my whole love and appreciation for music.
My moment when I started wanting to play music, I was like 12 years old, I think. And I heard this pop punk band called MXPX, and they had full sleeves and they were singing songs about girls. And I was just like, I want to have tattoos and sing songs about girls. And now I don't really do either of those.
I grew up doing theater and dance. My brother and I we tapped for Charlie Daniels' band, and we would do the encore clogging with two girls to Devil Went Down to Georgia. Yeah. And yeah, that was like the only part, right, and then we'd come out and do our dance, but I just remember sitting on the stage every time that we could, see the guys play, and I just remember watching the drummer a lot, and so I immediately started wanting to play drums, and then basically just that's where the bug got me, was watching, older guys play, like Willie Nelson, so that's kind of where I came from, was dancing, really, to Charlie Daniels.
Probably like 5 or 6 years old. My babysitter knew the theme to the Batman movie, and she played it one day on the little tiny Casio keyboard that my uncle had left at our house. And I was astonished. I mean, I was in love with her. I was like, listen, Mom, you have to let me take piano lessons because I want to impress this babysitter.
I had a friend, he would bring his keyboard and just post up in the student center. Everybody gather around and we just freestyle, not hip hop, but sing about sandwiches and chips and I love my sandwich with chips on the side. Stuff like that. And that's when I, figured out I want to be a singer.
I didn't start playing guitar or writing any kind of music until I was 18. Wow. And so I just hit it hard. Like it was just 5 hours a day I would play my guitar. And then just kind of started going out and
How long did it take to get to that part where you go from your room to out there?
Not enough time. I cleared out a lot of rooms. I would sing my heart out even though I didn't know what I was doing at all. But whenever you're pushing your boundaries in front of people, the learning curve is really fast.
Growing up, my folks played a lot of 50s and 60s rock and roll. So I remember hearing Chuck Berry, I remember hearing Richie Valens, Buddy Holly, all of that early rock and roll. I remember when the whole 90s grunge thing was happening, I was still into, like Johnny B. Good, I was like, I want to play that, Right. But I think you have to take all those things and you got to learn the licks, you got to emulate styles.
But still make it your own.
Well, yeah, but then you have to do you have to be who you are and give from your soul into that music.
The very first CD I got was Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. And I was just like, this is not me. It was a birthday gift. It was a gift. But luckily, that same birthday, I got Green Day Dookie. And I don't think I really discovered music until after that, where my dad was like, oh, you can't listen to this. This has got profanity in it. Here, listen to Zeppelin, listen to the Doors, listen to the Beatles. And it really opened my eyes to what good rock and roll was.
Right. I grew up on Genuine and Usher and a lot of 90s R&B groups and stuff. But, I tried hip hop, for a while. I had a friend
who was from Hawaii, and he was a rapper as well, and so he inspired me. And the first, type of songs I was writing was hip hop, and I wasn't good at it, at all. And I, my roots were R&B, so after that is when I started writing R&B songs. And recently started focusing more on Southern classic soul, kind of channeling into more of the older soul music like Sam Cooke and Otis Redding.
Oh yeah, singing alright. Cooler than water, like a fresh cold blast. Fresh as a breeze, blow it down your back. Cooler than water, baby, give me some of that. Got to be freaky.
For me, early on, it was like punk rock music. Really, I felt like, oh, this is easy, it's 3 chords, I can go do this. Like, kind of gave me a feeling of just like, man, like Green Day and Nirvana are writing these great songs and they're like 4 chords, I can totally do this. And it gave me that sort of empowerment.
This immediate thing of what makes this song good, like why do I want to keep listening to this song?
There was that sort of reverse engineering aspect. And then, I say punk rock, but I was into like the Beatles and Fleetwood Mac and stuff like that as a youngster too. So it started like the reverse engineering of songwriting, of like, why is this chorus so great? Like, oh, it's stacked with harmonies. And why is this bridge so powerful? Like, oh, it just hits this A minor here, all coming off of a major. But you start piecing together why it's so special. You figure it out yourself.
As a younger person, having an inexperienced musical ear, you just hear music. You don't hear guitars and voices. And then what you do is, like, when you're younger, is, like, for me, it was Martin Sexton, Pearl Jam, Dave Matthews. Like, I was a child of grunge, Stone Temple Pilots. And what you want to do is you think you want to be those people, because you don't know what's going on. Like, you can't pick out the thing that makes it what you love so much. And then eventually, you get to the point where you understand that what you love is how effortlessly they can show you the best part of them. And so once you can do that, you can start just taking those little pieces and you can use them as tools to show other people who you are and the best part of who you are. And I think that that's the power of influence, and that's the magic of influence.
Songwriting is tricky. By the time I've hammered it out into something that's cohesive and interesting, I'm very protective of that music. It's very, very precious to me. And so to actually debut it in front of a band member or the whole band is like, it can be kind of like dicey for me.
How crazy is it that when you write a song, you got an ache, something in your life, and all you literally are doing is putting it in a different perspective. Like, you're putting it into other words and just saying, this is what happened.
But like, how do we connect? How do you make that connection? To me, it's always been emotional. Like, think of all the music that, we've carried around our whole lives, with us, and from, the first kid or wedding, got married, or their first kiss or whatever. So I think the greatest honor is to be part of the soundtrack of someone's life.
I think it's natural for anybody who's writing songs is you kind of pull from personal experiences first, but you kind of graduate to saying, a song about this idea would be cool. So instead of saying, oh, I have this feeling, or oh, I'm in love, so I'm gonna write tons of love songs, we find that one little hooky 3 or 4 words and just kind of build it around that.
Never mind my traveling boat. Never mind my restless soul. I'm coming home. I'm coming home for the view.
There's like this weird thing about music that it is like a carrot on a stick. You go and you look down at your instrument and you go, I've seen these same notes a million times, But every time that you actually do something, that you pick the right ones, it's, you breathe life into something. For some reason, like, you're inspired to do that. Or maybe you just threw your hands on it and it made like a sound and you're like, okay, that's a starting place. But it just sparks this idea. I don't ever think I'm gonna be able to write another song, And then when I do, I'm like, cool. Hopefully another one happens also.
No guarantee. What do you guys find the easiest way to bring new material to a crowd is?
I think we have a pretty good idea of what kind of reaction we're going to get just based on the last 3 years of doing it.
Right.
I think our audience, for the most part, is very energetic.
Which makes our job easy, by the way.
Oh. Exactly. And I that's something I find myself saying is, hey, you're going to have a lot better time if you have a good time.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just going to come full circle.
So when do you guys know that it's the right time to debut a new song?
Once the band is all happy with it, then I'm happy with it. And I know that it's probably cool to show people. And like for me, really, there's not a difference between debuting a song to an audience the first time or playing it like the 1000th time for an audience. The part where I'm the most self-conscious is when I'm sort of putting the pen down and saying, okay, that's all I'm gonna do with this, you know? So once that happens, they're ready for anybody, you know? That doesn't determine a positive or negative reaction, but that's not really what the songwriting's about in the first place, you know? It's about the expression of thought, and an audience may or may not like it, and that's all right.
The unfortunate thing is that there's a lot of instant gratification just in the world. It's sound bites, it's clip culture, and you have to, there's kind of a learning curve to experiencing a new song and making it part of your experience. And so the struggle of being an original artist that is just doing original music is that you have to get people to associate your experience, to hear what you're saying, and make it part of them and feel ownership of it. And it's a really difficult thing to do. But anything that's done with integrity, in my opinion, is worth doing.
You guys have always had the type of thing where at y'all shows you'll like go down in the crowd and leave all the amplification behind and everybody gets riled up.
The secret is that we really actually just sound better unplugged. Because we started in a living room, but you lose that sort of authentic feeling of being with other people when you have to play a large room. But still, when you're on a big stage, you just got to find other techniques to relate to the crowd.
I know when I'm playing and I see a group of people that appreciate what we're doing, like it makes me feel like, man, this is why I'm a musician. You guys are digging what I'm doing. I'm very emotionally closed off when I'm like out in public. Like when I'm on stage or performing though, that's probably the most real I am. Like that's where I put all of it out there.
When I'm on stage, I know where everything goes.
Yeah.
I know my role, I know all the songs, I know where to speak, I know where to sing. But when I'm in the supermarket, I have no idea where I am.
Right. You can call it karma, justice or revenge. You can call it what you want, it's all the same in the end. But there's no one left to plead with, no one left to beg. If you'd like to speak about atonement for your sin, tell the devil what you did.
Everybody that's really trying to do something in Fort Worth or do something in Dallas is really putting themselves out there.
Right.
And if there's not a fan base or somebody that's supportive, it's really hard to keep something like that going.
Sure.
It's like you're gonna have people going down to Austin.
You know, just as a consumer, man, you have a choice. You can either go to a big box store or you can go to some neighborhood shop that you know the guy. And his money is gonna be spent in your neighborhood because he lives there too.
It's kind of like the musical equivalent of like buy local produce.
Yeah,
and
same
like,
thing.
you know, so like.
Here local.
Yeah.
I want to go and listen to a local band that can captivate me, and I'm helping out my local community because these guys are actually worth it.
I think what's so good too about the local music scene here is that there's a lot of great musicians, and these musicians are accessible.
You don't have to listen to the band that's on the radio all the time that 5 million other people listen to. You can go check out something that's probably better than that in your own backyard.
There's plenty for all of us to like enjoy our unique successes, and I feel like there's a lot of cooperation in this city that I can't speak for other cities, but here we kind of foster each other's growth.
think there's a really good thing happening in Dallas-Fort Worth, where there's a great community. They all hang out at each other's houses, jam, go to each other's shows.
It used to be music business is cutthroat and you stick your neck out only for yourself. And really, I think Dallas, we've really come a long way in making it more about the family and friends and the community.
That being said, it is somewhat of a healthy competition where like
healthy
some of our friends
competition,
are putting like records out this year and it's like, oh man, we need to put out this record.
Man, I feel really, really pleased to like be a part of this thing. How do you guys survive the road?
Well, we get along sometimes, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're just quiet and we drive, and that's the reality of it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that the road idea, it's weird, man. When you're not doing that, you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, that's just like, yeah, we're gonna go take a week-long trip somewhere.
Yeah.
And once you get in the middle of it, you're like, I might lose my whole mind.
The way that touring kind of works is it's like being a door-to-door massage therapist. Like, you go like, hey, do you want a massage? And most people are gonna say, no, I don't know who you are. But the thing is, someone will say yes, right? And then if you want to build your clientele, you go back to the place where they said yes. But then you don't go knock on 1 million doors in a row, you knock on the same 500 once a week. And you bring them something nice, like, hey, it's so good to see you. I just want to let you know I want you to feel better, and I want to help you. And you show them that you mean that by coming once a week. And you keep on coming to those 500 houses until all 500 of those houses are your clients. And you're bringing joy and happiness to all 500 of those houses. And then you go to the next 500, And that's kind of the way it works.
It doesn't work with everybody too. It's like, I do think that to like be able to enjoy the same things and we're all gonna pee at the same time and it's like all the things that keep the trip just moving ahead. That's important.
We'll get you nowhere fast. Let's slow it one day so we can make the good times last.
In our experience, playing out in other cities is almost a way to build your local fan base as well. I feel like that's something we've experienced a lot in touring and playing lots of other cities, and when we come back, it's almost like people respect the hard work and the sacrifice of that.
It's like you're breaking out of the local band persona, and people look at that and they're like, oh man, like they're actually going on tour.
And then there's that point where like you get some money back and you invest it in more merch and you got to really run your band like a business.
We're pretty self-sufficient. We do our own website and most of our own graphic design. Sam and I are graphic design nerds, so we spend a lot of time like aimlessly going over logos and vector images.
I think it's important to be very professional and like, yeah, no, it's fun. That's why I'm doing this as my job, but I am working.
Kyle and I, for the most part, we do everything. I mean, we've had the things that we can't do, I don't really know. Photography and the design and stuff. Like, I designed the first album cover and
the second one. Right.
As far as booking goes, Kyle's a master booker. He just calls and bugs people and calls and
you gotta get all the deep interwebs and start digging hard.
And Matt, our guitar player, is our producer and engineer. So
that works out well.
That works out well.
Yeah, that's
yeah, we pretty much do it all.
The perception by most people is that you're either Kanye or you're nothing. Those are your options as an artist and as a musician. And I think that this show is something that's really helped give perspective to people that you can be somewhere in the middle and it's okay. Just because it's not in an arena doesn't mean it's not good.
It's hard to pay the rent. Money came and money went. That's the price of me. Keep on moving on. Catch a break so strong along for anyone who cares, for anyone who dares. I hear your voice when I'm walking down M Street. I
podcast, like, you guys play like 4 shows a week, you must be doing all right. And it's like, well, it all goes to a band fund. I actually don't touch any of that.
Yeah,
but
never seen it
The
done.
great thing is I don't have to pay for those t-shirts out of my pocket now, which is actually a step up. So, you know, then you call your dad, you're like, Dad, our t-shirts are being paid for by something else. Congratulations, son.
I made it.
I don't know whether I'm gonna be a millionaire or whether I'm gonna get to do a world tour, but I know that the next step for me is my version of success. Like, I know that I've collected a following of people that believe in me, and I'm gonna nurture that.
What are your goals as a musician?
If you had asked me that when I was like 14, it was gonna be like, I wanna be next Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
But it's changed to where it's like, I don't desire being a rock star kind of thing, you know what I mean? I think this is with most musicians, is like, it's just something that you have to do. And like, I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't play an instrument.
Right.
And I can't imagine not performing.
It's no mystery why, you know, music has become an integral part of our, you know, our devices that we use on a daily basis, because it's part of what makes us human. And we listen to it because, you know, it can connect us and it can speak to us instantaneously without thought or without process. It is primal and it works on a very immediate level.
So here we are, so much to lose, but damned if we don't, but damned if we do. So here we are, it's our time to shine, but I can be yours, you can be mine.
There's all these underlying romantic ideas about playing music in my own mind, and a romance and a passion to want to grab that thing, that idea or that next concept. It's sort of like this endless ocean that you can always swim through, and you're never going to run out of musical ideas. You're never going to run out of beautiful things to say in a song.
I think when I was younger, I wanted to really be famous. Yeah, now it's just like, I just want to play music, have fun, and feel like I'm doing something, you know, that's worthwhile, that's, you know, about connecting with people.
Been traveling these wide roads for so long. My heart's been far from you, 10,000 miles gone.
Success isn't measured, I think, in art or music by monetary value.
Right, yeah.
You know, if you're in it for the money, you're good luck, you know?
If someone asks you, what do you do? And you say, well, I'm a musician. And maybe you have another job, but that's not who you are. You're a musician. And so you tell them you're a musician. They say, oh, well, do you have like a little band? And there's nothing wrong with not knowing how it works. But I would love for people to understand that sometimes what you do is part of who you are. And it doesn't matter whether you have a pay stub that says that what you do is important, because it makes you happy.
Please let me know. Take me to your river. I wanna know.
You can do this well, and you can be a working musician that's touring, that may make it big someday or may not make it big. But either way, I'm gonna enjoy these experiences right now and be inspired and inspire other people. That's all I want my music to do, is to inspire people in the moment in whatever they're going through.
We hear the music. We hear the music in our hearts, in our minds. We hear it all the time. We hear the music. We hear the music in our cars, in our homes. We'll never be alone. part of who we are. Just like the night holds the stars, we won't quit or ever let go of it. Oh, sometimes I turn it off, but it's still on. To sing along, 'cause we hear the music, we hear the music. It's a friend who's always there. The music is everywhere. In our minds, we hear it all the time.